Hey guys, got a bunch of battleground fights. The first two against qUeeဍîBee or qUeeஞîBee. I don't know, there's an I in the middle, which makes me want to say Queenie. But anyway, so she has a bunch of special characters in her name, which I do not know how to get. So there's just going to be normal characters in the title of my video. So if you are able to make her her name accurately, then I will copy and paste it into the video title, so that would be very helpful for me. Otherwise, I also have 3 fights against Chilimack after this. Queenie is pretty strong, probably top 10 or top, definitely top 15 archers, at least from cross-server rankings. Still at a bit of a BR disadvantage against me. I think I looked at her stats at the end and her influence might be a little bit higher, but I don't think she really tried to stun me, so I don't think that's super relevant here. I do have my new Oracle, which I did a video on upgrading him, and so I'm really glad to be able to try some PvP out with that new kid. So I do have a Centauria from him on, which is pretty nice. It's not perfect. It's not as good as a mage Centauria yet. It will be as good as mine or better once it's maxed out, once it's level 5, but it's not yet. But I didn't take my own Centauria because I knew that I had the Centauria on my Oracle. But it turns out I kind of like having my own Centauria too. So later on, after fighting Chilimack a couple times, I do put my own Centauria back on and just chuck the Ice Bolt. I like Ice Bolt a lot for class wars, and I give up the AoE. I don't bring Meteor, but in BG I much prefer having the Meteor to deal with the troops and things. So here Queenie, we had back-to-back fights, so she did deal quite a bit of damage to me in that first one. She is an archer, so she's dealing quite a bit of physical damage. So even though I have less attack than she does, actually she deals quite a bit of damage just in class mode and with her dark pad. My dark resistance is probably 900 something right now. I do have an advanced dark dimension, plus 5 level 8 crystals and 1 level 9 crystal. So my res is in decent shape, but even so, dealing with dark pads lately is very, very, very difficult. Attack stats are very high, so the gap between the average attack stat and the average physical defense stat is much bigger, and so for me, I'm really struggling with my physical defense. Mine's a bit lower than the average mage, so I'm sort of trying to figure out how I want to balance that. I would have to give up quite a bit of HP just to raise my physical defense enough for it to really make an impact. So I'm not sure if I really want to do that. So sort of testing the waters right now. Haven't really committed to anything yet. Queenie also has some pretty nice timing with her Guardian rune. I definitely felt like she was surviving pretty nicely because she was reducing a good portion of the big damage. She just barely survived that though. It was enough. It looks like her heal rune is pretty so-so though. Maybe it was a 40% or 30 some odd. My heal rune heals for 50%, so it's pretty hefty. I mean, if I can get to that heal rune, I'm usually in pretty good shape as far as surviving for a bit. See there? She also uses Poison Arrow, which I think is a strange but interesting choice. Maybe not the first thing I would pick as an archer. Oh, she's from Kabam33. I used to know the Kabam players quite well, or at least have like a better sense of, who the top Kabam people were, but they put all of everybody into the cross-server rankings now, which makes looking at stats and stuff easier for me, but now I don't know all the Kabam people as well as I used to. So anytime there's like a new Kabam person that's gotten really strong, I don't see them as immediately as I used to. And here's Chilimack. He wipes out my poor panda pretty quickly. He has his archer in front, which I think is sort of an odd choice. And I guess I think that's more of a choice that he would pick against, particularly against knights, but just any of the physical classes that deal front damage more. But I think against mages it's not a great choice because we all have dark pets, and so if the kid lives to the point where I Sylph, then I can Devour Soul the kid and heal back quite a bit. So in our second fight you'll see that, but he keeps the kid alive, and so I was hoping for an opportunity to Sylph and heal off the kid, but I'm in bad shape from that stun. What I really should have done here is just tried to get into Sylph mode immediately, but I did see that Awe coming, which stole some of my awakening points, so that kept me out of Sylph mode. And my heal is also just a bit too late, so he gets a Devil's Gaze, and so I don't heal for much at all. It wasn't a crit heal, and he had a 50% heal reduction on me, so really not dealing much there. So second fight, I'm hoping for slightly better results, and I do think I get them. I did tell him that our influence gap is going to be very different soon. He did get a nice stun on me there. I'm at about 800 influence. He's at 2000 influence, so he does stun me for 2 or 3 turns if he does successfully get one on me. And so that's pretty frustrating. I spent a large portion of last Class Wars Finals stunned, so I'm looking forward to being able to raise my influence. There's a good event in the hot events right now, or a good exchange in the hot events, which is 30 of the chests for 100 beads of influence. So I'm going to take advantage of that, and so hopefully I'll do a video if the Diamond Synthesis event turns out to be unlimited. I'll do a video doing a bunch of those and getting a lot of quote-unquote free chests, and so then I'll be able to get a ton of beads of influence and hopefully max out my influence, or at least my influence from Fate Stones. So here I get a Devour Soul on his kid, and so that's a huge heal. That's probably a disadvantage for him. I think I was in pretty good shape. I think I did that Guardian Rune a little bit early. He did bait me a little bit into doing it. I thought he was, well, I don't know what I was quite thinking there, but just looking back on it, I should have waited a moment and just tried something else. And he says, yeah, I gotta get that kid out of the front row, and he's correct. I don't think that's the right choice, especially after fighting me. The other weird thing is I don't know how he got that heal rune in after he had already killed me. It's a little bit strange, but yeah, he did a nice job there. So here's where I take out Ice Bolt, so I can't stun him anymore, but there's a bad chance that I'm able to stun him anyway because he has 1200 more influence than I do. So I take my own Centauria, so in case the kid dies early, I can do my own Centauria. Right now my kid's Centauria is just not as good. I didn't hover over it, but I think it's, maybe 4% or 5% at best. Dealing a good bit of damage there. Also, it helps that my kid is getting his AoEs out to help me kill that archer. So now I'm able to deal a bunch of direct damage to Chili, which is good. Chili also has this red Hecate, which is thoroughly intimidating, but overall my stats are better than his, probably except for physical defense. But I definitely lead him quite a bit on HP and some other places. The big places where I lose out to Chili are defense, influence, and maybe resistances, especially depends on what type of dimensions he has. Getting some nice crits as well. And I think Chili notices. I think in a little bit he wonders if I have any dryads at the moment. So he gets a stun on me, which is sort of lucky. Again, it's a 50-50 chance whether he's gonna hit me or the kid. So he gets one on me, and it's successful, so I'm a little bit stuck. He asks if I have a Dryad, and at the time, I had taken 2 losses against him, so I thought, oh, I probably have 1 Dryad. But then I remembered that I did have a fight between my last fight and this one, and so I don't have any Dryads at the moment. I even double checked the footage afterward to make sure I didn't, because I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm doing so well and you know, it turns out to be a dryad. So this time his Guardian Rune isn't as well timed, and so I'm able to make sure that he uses 2 skills before I let out my Delphic, so I deal a lot more damage there. Even so, he gets a Devour Soul on me, and looks like my physical defense and dark resistance not helping me out as much as I would like. So he does survive that. I think I shouldn't have been as panicky there. I think I should have just done a Thunder and seen if I could take him out, because he's pretty low on HP, and at a 100% damage boost, there's a good chance that I could have just taken him out. I had 81 rage, and so I could have done a Thunder and then not quite another one, but I could have done a Thunder and maybe either a Rune or a Lightning Bolt and just gone for another one, because it took him a while to heal. And he said he has no rage, which I don't know how he managed to consume so much before going into Sylph mode. But anyway, that was a missed opportunity on my part. Even so, I'm at an advantage just because I got out of Sylph mode earlier, and so good chance for me to just win it. And there we go. Being able to hit him while he's not in Sylph mode is really helpful, because there's a big passive on Hecate called Power of Darkness, and Power of Darkness reduces the amount of elemental damage that he takes, so nice to just finish it off there. So lining up our stats next to each other, so again, I have him on defenses all around because I went for that red armor and he went for the trinket instead, and I probably just am better off in defenses in general. HP I have an advantage, so he has more penetration, more crit, more influence, and more physical defense. I forgot to look at the resistances this time around, but I think his are probably better or comparable to mine. And then also qUeeeñîBee, who's just a notch down as far as BR compared to mine or Chili's, and still very nice. More HP and more crit than I do, and more influence. I'm not quite sure why she needs so much crit, but otherwise a big attack and defense advantage on her, which helped me a lot, and probably helped with the resistances as well. But yeah, this was really fun for me, being able to kind of feel like a full participant of all the PvP aspects now. I feel like I've kind of been on my own since my Eudemon was so weak, and so it is sort of interesting to finally be able to have that, I guess, support. So it's been fun. I hope to do more, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care and have a very good day.